box. She's like, I love the vibrations. But anyway, it has Will Ferrell in it. And he just got done winning his first race. He's like, what do I do with my hands? And he's being interviewed. And he's just like, and the guy interviewing was just like, put your hands down.
The director also has a big role in location scouting, or location scouting, if you're not familiar with what that means, it means finding locations to film scenes in. And the church and the hotel were both places that were chosen for specific reasons, which I'll get into in later episodes, but that is something a director is heavily involved in.
I had been there before in that ballroom area, and I never quite saw it the way that I felt it was portrayed in your movie. And I mean, when I had been there, it was for school dances at a private school that I'd gone to in junior high, but just the transformation kind of from it being a full room to an empty room, and it being dark and not very well lit. I mean, there was some lighting, but it wasn't like how I had seen it before, and so it gave it kind of that eerie feel.
Right.
Which
is what I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never seen it that way, and I thought it was interesting that you had it in that perspective.
And acting, of course, is a huge job for the director, because the director, he's not only behind the camera making sure that scenes are going like they're supposed to, but he's also making sure that the actors are portraying their characters like they need to be. And you know, the director can even go to the actors and he needs to be descriptive. He needs to explain in very descriptive words, you know, how you need to portray this part, how you need to say certain lines, how your face needs to look when you say the lines, things like that. And sometimes the director even needs to, or will have to physically play out the part himself to show the actor kind of what he needs to do for that part. A good example of basic directing would be the scene that you were in where the demon was taking the soul out of your body. And I have a clip here that in the movie you have all this sound going on, you've got some vocals and music, and this is what the scene looks like from the movie. But this is what really is going on.
Slightly lift. Release. Okay, we'll do it one more time, but do a little faster.
Okay.
And a little more forceful. And lift. Release.
And so you see there, I was instructing Travis what he needed to do while this scene was happening because his eyes were closed. But that scene right there just kind of demonstrates the very basic directing between director and actor. Another example would be the several takes we had to do between you and your wife Whitney in the bedroom scene. There was part of that was due to nervousness. You know, she was nervous, and
she's camera shy.
Yeah, she's camera shy. None of it. You or Whitney had never done any acting before, so it was understandable that you guys were nervous, especially her. But another reason why we had several takes was because I don't know if you remember this, but I was trying to get you guys to say things in certain ways, or say it, you know, show kind of emotions on your face and whatnot. You know, that's another example of me directing for the film. And lastly, I kind of wanted to talk more about the acting side, and I wanted to get kind of your input on working on the film. You are also a camera operator in some scenes. like this one. But I would also like to get your input on how you felt about acting within this movie. It was your first time, and what are your thoughts, your feelings of it?
It was a new experience, and you're never quite sure of what you're going to come into. And I mean, we've been friends for forever, so I mean, I know you wouldn't steer me down the wrong path or anything. I wanted to help you out with the project that you were doing. And I had fun. It was difficult at times with scheduling and getting everybody there when we needed everybody, and having the things available that we needed, but
that's a good point that you point out there, because we're dealing with a bunch of volunteers, you know, and with working with volunteers, everybody's got their own lives, you know, their own jobs that they've got to take care of. You know, when you got a paid actor, you're paying him to be there, so he's going to be there at that time, at that location when he needs to be.
But I mean, overall, I thought it was fun. I had a good experience with it, and I'd do it again.
I mean, I enjoyed it, and it was. I was hoping I could use you for the film for several reasons. You're fun to work with. You're my best friend, and like I said before, we kind of look similar, so you were able to fit, you know, one of the roles for me. So you know, it was great. Did you feel like my directing helped you portray the parts the way you needed to?
Yes, because I mean, you and I had probably a different perspective as to what should be represented in the movie. You have this idea, I have this idea, but we need to be in the middle, or you need to say, no, it needs to be this way. And I felt like you did a great job leading to where I needed to be and where it needed to go, instead of just, oh yeah, that's fine. You know, you stuck to what you wanted to do, and that's what's really important.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like you said, stick to what you want to do. You're the boss, you're the one in control as director. Obviously, you don't want to make your actors feel like they're being taken advantage of, or feel like they're doing a terrible job or anything like that. And that's something that I made sure to do with the actors, and not just you, but some of the other people. You know, I wanted to make sure that they were comfortable with what they were doing within the scene that they were doing, because I was working with volunteers. You know, they had never acted before, so I wanted them to be comfortable so that they could portray their parts as best that they were able to do as first-time actors.